Welcome everybody to another edition of WCW 2003 here in TEW 2020 as we continue on the road to Sacrifice, the next pay-per-view as it's the go-home show. But before we do that, let's go ahead and look at the Saturday night results because we've been running the TV title tournament there, and it's good to show you guys that. So, at the last taping for Saturday night, which happened, basically after the last Nitro, we had Tajiri defeat Alex Skipper in a pretty straight-ahead match. And we also had Fit Finlay defeat Chavo Jr. in a pretty straight-ahead match when Paul London came out and distracted Chavo just enough for Finlay to get the win. But overall, it was a pretty clean win. And then next week, in the other quarterfinal matches, Kaz defeated Scott Staehler. Again, pretty straightforward. Kaz just dominated and got the win. And in the final match of the night, Yang defeated Alex Wright in a big upset when Jamie Noble came out and interfered against Wright without Yang knowing. So after the match, Wright argued with Noble, but Yang tried to intervene to try to get an understanding. So that's all you need to know, and there you go. So now let's go on to actual Nitro. This time with no pre-show matches because it's a go-home show. So basically, it's a go-home show. So lots of tag matches and other fun stuff like that. So let's get rolling. So we basically start with a quick with basically not a pre-show promo, basically a before show promo where Kanyon with Lawler is opening the show, without any of the Horsemen, and Kanyon's over and over and over, I have to prove that truly nobody's better than Kanyon. And yet people keep on doubting it. Even after I win one world title, people still doubt it. Even after I become the leader of the Horsemen, people still doubt it. Well, at Sacrifice, Shaun O'Hare, WCW wants you to be the future. You've got the big muscles, you've got the good looks, but at the end of the day, WCW will be disappointed again when I prove once again nobody's better than Kanyon, and I get back on the road to regaining my world title. 82 for Kanyon, which is really solid stuff, especially because this was only an 82. This is only a 4-minute promo, so we probably hit the max as far as time caps. But still, there you go. So we go into the opening of the show, which was the opening match of the show, which is basically a match to preview the 4-way cruiserweight title match at Sacrifice. And about the terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat, Chavo Jr. and Cash defeated Paul London and Blitzkrieg in 742 when Cash pinned Blitzkrieg with a dead level. So this is just your typical, mess of a tag match at the end. Everybody's in the ring. Cash slips in, hits the big move on Blitzkrieg, gets the pinfall victory, gets a 62. Chavo and Cash didn't work well as a team, which is okay. And in the actual match, Chavo had the worst performance, and both Blitz and London had 58, so not bad, which is especially not bad because we got a 62. And after the match, London hit a dive on the celebrating heel, so Cash and Chavo are basically outside celebrating their ill-gotten gains when London does what Paul London does, especially in 2003, and hits a crazy dive. And this got a 52. So again, it was a quick angle, nothing super exciting, but still got a little more heat on the actual Cruiserweight title match. Next up, we have a backstage segment where Jeremy Borash is with RVD, Rey Jr., and Alex Wright. And they basically put over the fact, RVD puts over his match with Steiner, saying, it doesn't matter who, that you're taking me out because Kidman paid you off or because you're pissed at me. Bro, I'm going to kick your ass one way or another. Rey Jr. does a competent little babyface promo where he stumbles a little bit and is Shane Helms, you have your backup, but I will have the backing of the fans. It doesn't matter because after Sacrifice, I'll still be United States champion. And then Alex Wright does a little quick promo where he talks about beating whoever's in front of him in the future. Then we have a 6-woman match where we had about that terrible wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. Gail Kim, Amber O'Neil, and Lexi James defeated Angel Fox, Celine Cartier, and Jordan Cole in 7:15 when Lexi James pinned Celine Cartier while using the ropes for leverage. This is just a cheat to win. This got a 45 overall. If you like the actual in-ring work, Angel Fox is up to a 55. Gail comes up to a 56. Lexi and Amber O'Neil are in the 50s, and Celine and Jordan are in the high 40s. Celine Cartier is also making better as a gimmick. Unfortunately, Amber O'Neil sustained a strained wrist. But this is just Lexi, cheating to win to gain the advantage. And after she slips out, yes, I know, Lexi James makes the belt motions, while Angel Fox is, in the ring. This gets a 47. So, not the best, promo ever, but, solid stuff, especially as, again, we're building up the, popularity of the women bit by bit. And then we have a babyface promo as they hype up the big main event tonight of the 6-man match of the Chuck Palumbo DDP and Sean O'Haire taking on the Horsemen. And, again, this is a straightforward promo for most part. DDP talks about, at Sacrifice, he's going to hit the bang on Ric Flair. Maybe finally send you into retirement like you deserve, old man, because, come on. I'm no spring chicken either, buddy, but you really need to move on. Sean O'Haire's like, Kanan wants to talk about, Kanan wants to talk about WCW push me. Well, Kanan, you're in the Horsemen. You've gotten every advantage you have, and you're still whining. Well, at Sacrifice, it's going to be the end of the line for you as I move on, to the top of professional wrestling. This gets a 680 because, again, these guys are all pretty solid promos. DDP's really good. Stacey Keebler helped things out, and there you go. Then we have our basically tag team preview match. As about had decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Team Canada and AMW defeat Dustin Rhodes, Conan, and Air Raid in 9:54. Mike Awesome pinned Air Raid. It says after using 4 object, but this is basically just, distraction and cheatery, and Awesome hitting an Awesome bomb. So this gets a 71. Again, this is just the build up the 2 big tag matches, and Team Canada went over to give basically some heat or the idea they might win the tag titles back. In ring wise, AJ Styles got a 72. AMW still in the low 50s. Awesome and Storm are in the high 60s. And yeah, there you go. And then the post-match angle is a post-match brawl between the Tradition and AMW for a couple minutes, while Lawler basically yells at Tradition, and this gets a 60. Again, pretty straightforward. Just again to build a little more heat, since they didn't have a pinfall or anything to fight over, so they just continue to brawl and fight because, hey, that's what wrestlers do after all. Then we have sort of our I don't want to say our big angle of the night, but basically this is the official contract signing for Sacrifice, and this is first Bischoff's there with the contracts. Booker comes out, he gets a big pop. Goldberg comes out, he also gets a big pop. But this is full shit disturber Eric Bischoff. As he as he goes in, it's both been signed. He asks Booker how he feels that Goldberg's the world champion and being pushed by WCW, getting the most cheers from the WCW crowd. Well, he fought for WCW while Goldberg's out injured. At first Booker doesn't take the bait, and then Goldberg doesn't take the bait when Booker Goldberg, after Bischoff asks Goldberg if he's taking Booker lightly, because he's someone else who's over the way of fans, and Goldberg, just sort of goes, it doesn't matter whether the next person in front of me is cheered, booed, or isn't cared about at all. It doesn't matter, because they're just next. And Booker's like, Sucka, I'm not going to be next, I'm going to be a sixth time. And, before Booker can finish his spiel, Goldberg is like, no, you're not. Booker, I respect you, and it's going to be one hell of a fight at Sacrifice. It doesn't matter that the match on Sunday is going to end the way every single one of my matches end. Spear, Goldberg, and that's it. You're done. Booker's like, we'll just see, man. We'll just see, sucker. And there's a little confrontation, and then, before they both sign, no brawl or anything, because, again, everybody's still a babyface here, but, just a little bit of, tension before the actual match on Sunday. Gets a 93 because all these guys are really over and really entertaining. Then we go to our next segment in our My Ever Questing quest to get Johnny the Bull over. So basically, this is, again, I sort of lost my creative juices on this one. So Elizabeth just shows Johnny more of his heritage. So this is just more like Johnny in Italy, seeing the sights, being shown around his town, quote unquote, and being shown his past. Then we move on, and then we're backstage with Helms, Steiner, and Kidman, while April Hunter is also there. And this gets an 81. Ironically, kind of struggle. So this is a full Scott Rainey promo saying, RVD, you're nothing but a bitch. You're a pot-smoking bitch who I don't care who you are. Because I'm the Freakzilla, and I'm going to kick your ass, and I'm going to take your woman. And does all sorts of Scott Steiner stuff. And Shane Helms, like, sort of has to, like, recenter things to be like, Mr. Rey Jr., well, you know, you've been called king of the cruiserweights. You've been called the best junior heavyweight in history. You've been called a lot of things. But after Sacrifice, the only thing you'll be called is a loser when I take the U.S. title off you, because I'm the superstar in WCW. I'm here to save this company. And after Sacrifice, I will be back on top once again. And then Kidman and April just sort of make out in the background. 81, solid stuff, you know, as we go along. Then we have TV title tournament, going over what I just wanted to you guys at the start of things. And it gets a 42, which, you know, is not what I wanted to get, but, you know, it you know, this is what would be on TV to hype that up as we head to the finals. And then we have our first of our big matches here. And about had great wrestling and good heat. Shane Helms, Billy Kidman, and Scott Steiner defeated Rey Jr., RVD, and Alex Wright in 1706 when Scott Steiner pinned Alex Wright. This was, you know, it was a wild 6-way brawl to end things. Steiner got the advantage and got the big pinfall victory on Alex Wright. Some sort of like suplex thing, big belly back suplex. I'm not going to say a Steiner screwdriver. I'm going to say Frankensteiner, but something, you know, something big like that. A huge big suplex to get the clean pinfall win. This gets an 85. Steiner got an 80. Kidman got an 81. Helms got an 81. Wright only got a 69. Both RVD and Rey Jr. got 85s. So, good stuff. Yeah, 85. A really good match, which is what I expected. And then the post-match segment was just a brawl between everybody. Gigante gets involved, comes out, goes for the choke slam on Rey. Steiner RVD fight. Wright and Kidman brawl. April Hunter tries to attack, Wright from behind. Blah, blah, blah. It's a big old brawl. It pipes up the crowd as we head to this pay-per-view. And there you go. So this gets an 81. As we head on to the actual main event of the evening, which gets an 88. Which isn't quite as good as my other main events I'm getting, but still really hot. In a superb match, DDP and Palumbo and O'Hare defeated the Four Horsemen, Kane and Ric Flair and Shane Douglas in 70-26, when O'Hare pinned Shane Douglas with the Widowmaker. This gets an 88, like I said, and DDP got an 82. Palumbo gets a 73, O'Hare gets an 82, Douglas gets a 75, Flair gets a 74, and Kane gets a freaking 94 because he's great. And yeah, this is just a big 6-man match where it goes back and forth. And in the end, Douglas gets caught with O'Hare in the ring. O'Hare is able to hit the big Widowmaker, and the babyfaces stop the heels from breaking up the pin. And this gets an 88. And to end the show with a friggin' 98, basically the babyfaces are all celebrating, while the Horsemen are devolving into arguing again. Like Douglas points at Canyon, "Where are you at?" Lawler steps between then. Flair tries to play Peacemaker, which gets everybody to yell at him. And then Flair's like, "We're the Horsemen. We don't do this in public. Douglas, you're unhappy. I get it. Canyon, you're unhappy. I get it. Joni, you're happy. I get it. But we're the Horsemen. What we're going to do is on Sunday night, we're going to go take those punks out, and we're going to remind everybody why the Horsemen run this business." And then, the show ends on that. Gets a 98, which is a freaking awesome promo to end things, because, hey, it turns out Ric Flair, Canyon, DDP, people who are good at entertaining. And then we finish the show, which gets an 89, which is about what I expected. So we'll move on to see what Raw did, and then we'll go from there. I don't think there's much to show outside of the... obviously something weird might pop up here, so... anything might happen. Got Olivia hirings, processing, and here we go. Okay. New team of Rob Rage and Cody Hidehara. Okay. You have... okay. Of course they did that match. The Partisans, okay. First, let's look at Raw. Let's see here. Raw. Okay. So, Jeff Hardy and the Radicals defeated Matt Hardy and the Dudley Boys. Okay, that's interesting. Lita defeated Molly Holly. Scott Hall defeated William Regal. Big Show defeated Steven Richards. Kane defeated Raven. Chris Jericho defeated Christian. And The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels defeated Edge and Triple H. Okay. Solid stuff. Maybe not quite worthy of an 89, but, you know, I'm not the game. Let's see here. Amon Neal injured. Oh, right. Let's see here. Medical-wise, is she actually out for any significant time? I'm going to guess no. Amber Neal. Nope. Literally 3 days. Okay. And let's see here. Anything else interesting popping up? Let's see here. Nope. Just independent wrestling. Take a quick look at what NJPW is doing. Okay, so Muto and Mossman defeated Fujita and Wall Street. Sikigan going over Koju Gets Call, Jeff Jabir and Kantito, Lawler, Ushino. Okay. So your typical New Japan house show. Alright. Oh, right. One thing I did want to show real quick is... Let's see here. Relationships. Any type? Let's see here. Is Reno Mero, also known as Sable, also known as Brock Lesnar's wife, which is that in here? Oh, okay, this is 2003. So okay. So still with Mark Mero at this point. Okay, my bad. So she's having a baby with Mark Mero, which maybe will stop her divorce from Mark Mero and ending up with Brock Lesnar. See? A wholly different world. But yeah, that's it. So we're heading to Sacrifice, which is still called Spring Stampede. I'm going to change it before the pay-per-view, but beforehand it doesn't really matter. But again, to go over the show real quick, obviously these aren't all the matches. Well, I guess these actually are all the matches. All the important ones, right? Am I missing anything? Oh, right, okay, yeah, there is that. Anyway, so again, obvious the big main event is Bill Goldberg versus Booker T for the world title. Babyface match. Will anything happen? Will anybody ruin things? Will it be a clean finish? Will Goldberg continue his streak? Since he came back, will Booker T become a 6-time world champion? Who knows? In a big match, Kenny will take Sean O'Haire. Kenny wants to rise back to, a world title contender. Sean O'Haire wants to rise, to a basically, be in that big main event picture. Ric Flair versus EDP. Just two older guys, still trying to determine they're two of the best in the world. Shane Helms versus Rey Jr. for the U.S. title. Our big tag team title match as Air Ray takes on Team Canada for the tag titles. Angel Fox versus Lexi Jane for the Women's World Championship. Dustin Rhodes and Konnan versus AMW in a continuation of their feud. And then in a 4-way for the Cruiserweight title, Cash will take on Paul London and Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Blitzkrieg in a match for the Cruiserweight title, where London will have to defend against 3 men, where he can lose a title without being pinned. And a match that's not showing up on here, it'll be Chuck Palumbo and Jason Jett taking on Jeff Jarrett and Shane Douglas. Oh, and also, I can't believe I didn't hype that. Oops, okay. Also, obviously, RVD will be taking on Scott Steiner, which I just realized now I did not pre-book that match, which, oh well, stuff happens. What can you do? But regardless, that's all for now. So, if you're enjoying this, go ahead and give it a like. Comment below on what you're liking and not liking, and subscribe to the channel for more fun TW20 content. I can't talk today. Subscribe to the channel for more fun TW 2020 content. There we go. Words, they're hard. Anyway, thanks guys. That's it for now. Talk to you later. Adios.